Hey everybody, welcome. Got you coughing.
Yeah, you caught me coughing.
Welcome. We are live, and this is Ask Us Anything. We are Mike and Jennifer Wendland, and today we're coming to you from Okaloosa Island, Florida. And behind us, let's see if we can get the thing. There we go. Back there is the Gulf of Mexico. Looks pretty nice when you lean back. See, it's
I can
focusing on
see.
us. And but as we move forward,
Yeah, boy, then it disappears.
it
That's kind
disappears.
of
So we're
cool.
trying to go back.
That's
It's
kind of
the
cool. So we
camera.
should sit farther
Yeah.
back.
Well, I guess we can sit further. I'll
You're
try
the.
and
You
do
seem
that.
to be.
Yeah. Let's just. Actually, I think if I bring that up, maybe.
No.
There we
Oh, there
go.
you
There
go.
you go. We get a little dark, but you get to at least see the water
Right.
behind
Right.
us, and
And they
that's
can
kind
see
of fun.
people walking
So,
around on the beach.
so there we go. Hey, we would love to see you guys. You guys are welcome to comment, and we see a number of you are online already, and we appreciate that. It's always good to see you all out there, and we want to hear from you, and want to thank Deb. I see Deb says hi, and it's always a pleasure. I'm always having trouble finding being able to pull those overlays up so I can actually see what you're talking about, but. We'll figure this all out here, and it comes up. Lots of you. Let's see. Somebody said something. I can't read my comments. Somebody said something about the way you're talking. So let me see you talking. We'll see if your level works.
See if my level works.
Yeah,
All right, seems to be working.
yeah. I think it is. Let's see here. Tap on your microphone there, Jen. Yeah, Jennifer's microphone's working.
All right.
So you guys should be able to see that. I think, right? Hopefully you're seeing it.
Oh, now we've lost the water.
We lost the water. We've pulled
Mhm.
back. Oh well. I'm
Oh
trying
well.
to figure out why I can't see the people who are commenting. Oh, that's not what I want. You got to forgive me. When I do this, everybody says you need the geeks here. So we probably do need the geeks. You see, lots of you saying hi, and that's always good to know. Usually, I can pull up your comments right online, and I'm not able to do that today. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And let's see, show. Well, that's not doing it either. And if I tap on that, I get to see some of you. But we're looking. So Jennifer, why don't you update everybody on what we've been doing? Oh, now I know how to do it. I'd make the same mistake every week.
You're consistent.
I'm consistent. Okay. Let's see. Jennifer's. Let's see. Jennifer is coming through fine. Is that good? Okay. Jennifer, talk to him a little bit.
We've had a not too busy of a week, kind of a casual week. The highlight of our week was going to Georgia.
Oh, I think they're telling me your voice is too hot.
Ah, I'm
That
too loud.
Yeah, you were probably too hot, and I got to put my mic closer to me. How's that? I'm turning mine up, and it should be pretty good there. I think everybody's hearing us great now. I can see the on the level. See, there's our level.
I see.
All right, we got a couple things we want to talk about, and then we'll come up with everybody. Lots of you are talking about, and I'll kind of go up to the top of the class, top of the notes here as soon as we can. We'll go right to the top, but I wanted to go to a quick email that we got just today, just before we went on, and this is the email, and it came from Barbara Longway from New Mexico. And Barbara heard us talking last week. She says, I'm looking forward to watching today's Ask Us Anything. Last Sunday, you mentioned that Bo is once again afraid of riding in the road trek in our RV and that you're thinking about sedating him. I hope you'll reconsider because it probably won't help him outgrow that fear. We are not going to sedate him. That was a suggestion that somebody made, and I think I mentioned it quickly last week. I said that's something that we're considering. But not really.
You're considering, not me.
Yeah. We really don't want to. We don't want to consider that too much. The reason Bo is afraid, it's our fault. It's because we left the.
Well, the refrigerator and the freezer take turns, the door popping open, and it terrifies him when the door flies open,
Yep.
which is normal.
And we just took him Thursday. We drove up to Southwest Georgia for a football game for our grandson, and
Friday.
Friday, not Thursday. Friday Night Lights. I got to remember that. And it
Happened again.
happened again. And what happens is that refrigerator and the freezer will pop open. The door will pop open. He never gets hurt. Never gets hurt at all. Those are the helicopters going by the beach over there. There, you see it in the screen just now.
And trying to
They say they're
figure
looking
out
for sharks.
try to figure out a way to make that secure other than taking duct tape or something, and I don't want to do that to the refrigerator. I mean, I don't know how to
Yeah.
make it stay shut.
There are a couple of things that we've got to figure out, maybe a bungee cord or something, and
We're
we'll
going to
wrap it
wrap it around.
Yeah. So at any rate, we are not going to sedate Bull. And the caller or the email had some suggestions of some natural supplements, and I don't think we need that. We just need to not let the refrigerator
Or
open on
freezer.
him. Duh. We got to remember. I got to remember to somehow bungee cord that shut or make sure it doesn't open. So. Well, there's a lot of you on tonight, and I want to thank everybody for saying hi. We've got a bunch of you that are saying hi. Let's always say hi to a first time. Pink Daisy says, first time watcher from Nashville. I'm Beth. Thank you, Beth. We're always good. And Susan, I want to know about living in a pull-behind travel trailer. Well, it's the same as living in any other kind of an RV, Susan. You can do it. If you're pulling something with the vehicle, then, you park the trailer and then you use that vehicle to get around in. It's just like any other kind of an RV. And, I don't know where to even begin to tell you, except that a lot of people full-time and a lot of people are doing that. So good luck with that, Susan. It's good. And they say, Jennifer sounds better.
Good.
All right. Well, that's good. I think we got all the sounds good. I thought I had this all adjusted. Hi from Breckenridge, Colorado. We appreciate that. Marino Flovent, I think I'm pronouncing that. You set the record. You are saying hi from Iceland. Well, hello. Iceland has become a real tourist center. And it's on our bucket list. We also understand you can rent RVs over there, so we would love to do it. Iceland Air, I think that's the national airline, has supplemented the cost of air tickets to get tourism over there. So we would like to partake in that, and we're really looking forward to that. Hello from Sun City, Arizona, and Port St. Lucie down south in Florida. It reminds me, Jeff Robinson from Port St. Lucie, while you jumped in there, to talk a little bit about what's behind us, the Gulf of Mexico. And the camera is adjusting to the light, trying to light us up, and it's darkening the background. If the sun came out a little bit more, that would be darker. But that's the Gulf of Mexico behind us. And a lot of you have asked us here, Okaloosa Island is up in the panhandle of Florida. And a lot of you have asked us if we have red tide, and we don't. We don't. However, we do have, and I was going to put a picture up, a bunch of algae, a bunch of seaweeds coming in, and it's pretty disgusting. I meant to grab that picture so I could show it to you. It stinks, but this is nothing like it's down on the Gulf Coast in South Florida. Really, from Fort Myers all the way up past Sarasota. Further north, the red tide has been out there for 10 months now, and it is devastating.
Can't be 10 months. April?
10 months.
10 months.
they've
Ooh.
been going through
Wow.
that. So we don't have that here in the Panhandle. That's why a lot of people are still out here vacationing, and the pool, the Gulf back there behind us is 82 degrees. And this is, again, Okaloosa Island, which is about 35 miles east of Pensacola, and about 50 miles east of Panama City. It's what they call the Emerald Coast. That water is emerald color normally when the sun is shining. So there you go. All right, Tina, we're here in Pennsylvania. Love the bears. Thanks for sharing. She's talking about our bear video.
That was a cool video.
That we had up just a week ago. That's up on our
You need to look that one up if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's about the bear cams up in Alaska. So please check that out. Hi to Mike Stanley. Hello, Mike, back there in Michigan. And Natalie in Canada. And greetings from Maui. So from Iceland to Maui, we're connected. And Richard says, we connected at Glacier, and I just arrived in Maui this week. Well, you don't have any sympathy for me, Richard. That's a great place to be. That is a great place to be. All right, so the title of this is Ask Us Anything, and we haven't done a lot that since we last talked to you a week ago today. However, we have done some editing, gotten some video editing done. We worked with our with Chris, who's our graphics guy, who's done some great animations. Have you seen the animations? What do you think of those
I
animations?
really liked it. We're getting that I'm much louder than you. Should you put your
No, that was
microphone?
earlier.
Okay.
Earlier. You're coming. Everything's fine now because you
Okay.
can see the levels are good. I put your mic in my. Anyway, they don't care how we did it, but we did. But we got some new animations on the YouTube channel, and that's been fun to do. And we've been working on editing and trying to just decompress because we begin a really busy travel season in just about 2 weeks. So
It's going to be fun.
now, where are we going this week? What are we doing this week?
This week we're going to just stay put, and you're going to edit videos, and we've got Friday night football.
Friday night football back in Southwest Georgia. Albany, Georgia is where we're headed.
That's why we're
Friday.
down here.
And we're going to probably spend Friday night in Albany. We drive the RV down there and tailgate and all that stuff, and then we'll come back here to Okaloosa Island on Saturday morning and spend another week. And then we start heading home, and we'll be one more game. We're going to catch up by Columbus, Georgia. Actually, it's up into Alabama, up there in Alabama, near the Georgia-Alabama line. And then we make our way all the way up to northern Ontario to the Ontario Provincial Park, the Algonquin Provincial Park up there in Ontario.
And Bo is looking forward to that.
Yeah, Bo does not like this hot heat and humidity here. It's not good. Okay, now let's get on to your comments and your questions as we keep going. This comes from Maureen. I have my Apple Watch set to remind me and right on time as usual. Oh, that's great, Maureen. We love hearing that. Just finished 4 hours of singing with my ukulele group at the farmer's market.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
That sounds really great. Well, I'm glad your Apple Watch tells you to tune in to when we're live. That's pretty good. Shout out to Michael, who's a first-time watcher of this from Iowa. Glad to see you're there. And lots of you were telling us at the very beginning Jennifer's audio was down, mine was up, and it should be pretty good. We should both be there. Milt is heading to Glacier National Park. I don't know if you all saw the video that made the national news today about the forest fire. We reported in our newsletter last week, and then we had some more information on the podcast, and we'll have more this week. But that forest fire that started just north of Lake McDonald at Glacier National Park is continuing to wreak devastation. There's some incredible video that we just watched on ABC National News of father-son who were camping in the backcountry there, and they barely made it out, literally barely made it out. They got trapped as the fire had spread on both sides of this little road that they're going down. A burning tree fell across them. They had to back up, couldn't see, somehow stayed on this trail and got to the lake where they were rescued by a boater. But pretty scary story. So that was not good. So Richard, who's in Maui, says he saw a new Class B on a Sprinter chassis in Maui, not quite close enough to see the model. I know there's at least 2 road treks in Hawaii, and I'm sure that a lot of the resorts use Sprinter vehicles to get people around. So I'm sure there is a whole bunch there. Question from Dr. Woody, too, with regard to Harvest Host, how does it work when traveling in the winter months? Well, you got to make sure that the place that you are thinking about staying at is open, right? Now, most Harvest Host locations do not have hookups. So you're self-contained, so you want to make sure you have antifreeze in your system. But give them a call. You usually are in a parking area or the parking lot of the farm or the winery or whatever. If they're open, call them up. And I'm sure it's just like in the wintertime, except when you go outside, you wear more clothes, and you probably have to keep the heater on in the RV. There's a special deal, by the way, for Harvest Host. If you go to roadtrekking.com/harvesthost, you'll get a really nice discount to sign up. But Harvest Host is a great service. We really love it. It lets you stay overnight free at wineries and farms and various attractions throughout North America. It's a really good deal, and they give a nice break for people who watch our podcast or listen to our podcast or watch our YouTube videos. So check it out. David Marshall likes the ocean behind you, and hello from Jacksonville. Yep, Jackson. I don't think you've got any red tide up there. It's just basically on the Gulf Coast, but as you know, it's really bad. Somebody keeps saying my mic doesn't work, but I think those were very early on because everybody else says they're working fine, and we should be pretty good. Yep, I'm catching up on all the questions here, trying to read the questions. That's good. Of all the places that you traveled, is there one place that stood out the most, and why? Jennifer, that's for you. What do you think? What's your take on
Well,
that?
I think everybody needs to go to Yellowstone. That was on my bucket list. I wanted to go to Yellowstone. It's such a unique place. I mean, people from all over the world come there. And I'm sure there's a lot of other places, but personally for me, I had to see Yellowstone.
Yeah, and we still love Yellowstone. I got to say, I'm a little disenchanted with the national parks in the summertime. They're just so crowded, except
Elbow
for
to elbow.
huh?
Elbow to elbow.
Elbow to elbow, and it seems to get worse and worse now. There are some exceptions to that. We had a delightful time this summer at Theodore Roosevelt State Park in North Dakota, and that wasn't overly crowded. But many of the others are just so crowded. It's really a challenge.
If you can park the middle of the week, if you can go in May and September.
Yeah, fall and early spring. That's good. Richard asks, do you change your own oil on your Class B? No, but Jennifer does. No, I don't.
No.
I just had my oil changed before we did this trip that we're on now, and I forgot what it cost, $150, something like that. And it was through a private garage, a company that works on trucks and everything in my area in Detroit, where our Sticks and Bricks home is. I had been having it done through a Mercedes Sprinter service dealer, and they charge almost twice that. So if you can find somebody that is familiar with the Sprinter, and this garage was, it's about 150. It takes a lot of oil. I mean, a lot of oil, and but almost half the cost.
Our grandson Nick is dating a girl who knows how to change oil in cars.
We could
Maybe she would know how to change oil in our RV.
Yeah, we could get Nick's girlfriend to. That'd be a great idea. Andrew, I saw the episode where you looked at carriers for your RV. Did you ever consider a small trailer? Yes, or why not? No, we didn't. We did tow a travel trailer once.
Mm-hmm.
And that
worked out just fine.
Yeah, that was great. So we did a family vacation towing a travel trailer. It was for our daughter and her family. But we've never thought about towing a trailer. You could, if you don't mind having something to tow. I frankly didn't like having those carriers. I had the stowaway, and then I had another one that we tested from a company up in Montreal that looked really good. But, they're about,
Add another
2.5 feet wide.
Yeah.
Just adds more length.
3 or 4 feet.
And we have the Road Trek, the Sprinter on the XL chassis, the extra long chassis, and it is really a neat neat thing to use because we have extra room. So I don't need to have to bring along a stow box.
You'd like to have it. If I wouldn't complain, you probably would like one.
I don't think so. They're
No?
just, it's
Good.
Just, now the one, both the ones I had, swung away so you could open the back doors, but it's just a hassle.
Yeah, it's just something else. And then you take 2 spots, and you might as well be a Class A if you're going to get that big.
Right, and you start taking more stuff than you need.
Right.
And there's very little stuff that, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of traveling in a camper van for if you have to have a trailer or if you have to have a hitch-mounted, storage box on the back. It makes it longer and more cumbersome, and you take more stuff than you need. That's what I'm finding.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. Let's see. Asking some more questions. I'm going through here really good. Grambo asks, Jennifer, can you get your meds while you travel if you are with a major chain? She asked. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And you've done that a couple of times.
I have done that when I have forgotten meds, left them at our son's house in Georgia, and came down to Florida and just went to a pharmacy, and you can work it out.
Yep. Jenny, do you have any problems parking your RV at the Florida condo? No. It's one of the reasons we picked this building. But that's another reason we like a Class B camper van. Even though ours is the extended length Sprinter, it's about 24 feet long, I still can park it just about anywhere. Because remember, the wheels are back, 3-4 feet from the actual front of the vehicle. So if you can find a spot where you can park right up to the edge with your wheels, and then your front or your back extends over, that drops it down to about 19 feet. And we're parked in a parking spot right out here. And that's one of the reasons we like this place. When we first bought it, we were doing some remodeling in it. We actually camped in our. I don't think they would have liked us doing that, but we camped. We did stealth camping in our own parking lot.
Right.
So that was pretty good.
That was fun.
Walt says, how much do you spend typically on fuel? Walt, I've never added it all up, but I would say...
you don't want to add it up. You might get very depressed.
Yeah, with the 4x4, which we have, we get only about 14 miles a gallon compared to about 17, 18 on the non-4x4 version of the CS Adventurous XL that we have. But it's about $50 every time I fill it up. Sometimes a little bit more, and I don't know. I would several thousand. I spend a year, maybe 8,000. That's about right. With all the traveling, that's probably what if I totaled it up for fuel, something like that. Probably about $8,000 a year on fuel. But we remember travel every month of the year. We are on the road half to 3/4 of the time. And unlike other RVers who kind of go and sit in one place for a week or two or a month or 2 months, we typically are traveling all the time. Mm-hmm. What's our style?
It's a business expense.
Yeah, I mean, because, we're going out telling stories, doing stories. So we'll be in one area for a couple of days, and then we'll go to another one, and maybe that's overnight, and maybe then we'll go to another one. Going out to Glacier this summer, we took 10 days to get out there and did stories all along the way. So that's our style. Our style's not typical. Most RVers stay in one place a little longer than we do. Richard, do you use blocks to level your Class B? Not unless the Princess and the P complains. And the Princess and the P complains if it's not level. So
yeah, if it's not level,
so I do.
He has to.
I have started to lately because I can sleep anyway, But the Princess and the Pea, if you don't remember that story, if it's even just a little off, I hear about it. So
I think what did it that one morning you woke up next to my feet.
Yeah, it was like we got in really late, and I didn't really set it all up. And I woke up, and your feet are right next to me instead of your head because we had slept on it instead of. Normally we sleep with our heads up a little bit. We try and
feet
do that.
higher than my head.
Yeah.
So I switched ends.
So now I try. If I can't get it level, I'll just go out and throw a couple of those little blocks underneath it, and it's pretty simple to do.
You do need those blocks.
Yep. Sean, have you ever traveled in a Class A diesel pusher with an enclosed car trailer in tow? No. We have a small roadster that we'd like to keep if possible. Lots of people do, Sean. A lot of people, we see them on the road all the time, and that enclosed trailer, of course, protects it from the elements, keeps it a little safer. Mm-hmm. And a little roadster would not be any problem for a diesel pusher. But I've never been in a Class A. I mean, I've never stayed in one, never camped in one, never driven one. So I can't give you much help on that, except I can tell you that we pass them and see them on the road all the time. And for those who want to take good care of their cars and those little enclosed trailers for the car, seems to me to be a lot better solution than towing it 4 wheels down or on a little dolly with the 2 wheels down. That's the way I would kind of go. Lots of you checking in. Chicago, Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you guys for letting us know you're there. Have you been using biodiesel fuel that blends in summer? Yes, I have. Now, I get this question quite often, and I got it so often that I ended up calling Mercedes and doing an interview on the podcast about this. If somebody wants to go search that and then post the link on here, let me know. By the way, there's a thing. Do you see something on here called Super Chat? It's where you can comment and there's like a $sign. I don't know if that shows up. Somebody let me know if that shows up. You don't have to click it because that's like it's like a tip. But somebody wanted to know if I had that enabled, and I think I do. I don't know. I did get a couple of those before where you donate something and then it flashes your comment at the top of the list, and I see it. But I'm curious whether that little dollar sign is there, so somebody can look for that. But then if somebody else would go to roadtrekking.com and up on the top right in the search box, at the very top right, search for Mercedes biofuel, and you'll see a podcast interview I did about 6 months ago, I'm thinking it was, where I talked to Mercedes and I asked them about it. I see many of you saying, yes, that is up there. Super chat is enabled. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I have a friend who does this, and that's how he helps fund all of his bandwidth. He says, yeah, people are always using it. I said, I think I have it, but I saw it once, but it went so quick, so I didn't know what it does. But now I know. If I see a super chat out there, they got to go first. But, so somebody would find that biofuel thing. We'll do it. But they basically said, don't worry about it. Don't put it in all the time. But if that's all you can get, it's not going to wreck your engine, and you are okay to use it. That's Mercedes, and I urge you to go listen to that and read that story. And it's up. It's on the blog, so it's not a real problem. All right, lots of you, Port Huron, Michigan. Here's a question from Milo. My wife and I are new at RVing, going cross country. Too much for newbies? No, but we got some advice if you're going cross country for the first time. Go slow.
What do you mean go slow? Take your
Go
time,
slow.
enjoy it. Just have fun.
Now, Milo, if you've never done this before, you tend to overplan. Just giving you some stuff we've learned the hard way. You tend to overplan. So you get up a map and you know you're going to go this place and you're going to stay there and you got to get there by 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever arbitrary time, and you just shoot your way there as fast as you can, and you miss a lot on the way. Haven't we learned that?
We've learned that the hard way. We'd make reservations and then we begrudgingly went, or else we lost the money.
Yeah, and we lost a lot of money. And now, when we travel, we do not make reservations.
Not normally, unless it's a weekend or a
Yeah,
holiday.
I mean, there may be something, there's always an exception to that. But generally, we just don't. And it's very easy to find a place to stay. You learn about things like Harvest Host, RV Overnight's another great service that's out there. And you won't have any problem finding places. But don't travel too far, too fast. What other advice do we want to give Milo as he plans a cross country? Budget in time. Get off the freeways. Get off the expressways.
Get off the expressways.
Yep.
Do your homework.
Yep, and just enjoy it. Let's see. Maureen loved the animation, especially Bo popping up and wagging his tail. Yeah, I don't know if that's too corny or not. Well, I think it's pretty fun, though. It's fun to have Bo on there. Everybody says that looks like you. They're not sure it looks like me. They went with my hat on, my camping hat. But thanks, Maureen. Chris, are you going to Hershey, Pennsylvania? Yep, we will be there.
We're going to be there.
Just a couple of weeks. We're going up to Ontario first for one of our road trekking gatherings, and then we come back and go to Hershey, and we'll be in Hershey the Saturday and Sunday of the show. I forget the exact dates of it, but look for us around the Road Trek Erwin-Heimer booth. And we'll also stop by and say hello to our friends at Rad Power Bikes. They'll be also at Hershey. And we'll be there. We always love going to Hershey. It's just a lot of fun, and we really enjoy it. Is this correct? In current road treks, the inverter needs to be turned on for AC. Yes. Induction cooking. Yes. Microwave. Yes. To use a 110 outlet. Yes, it does. The inverter basically takes direct current and makes it alternating current, DC to AC, and makes it that 110 volts. And the microwave, the convection oven, all that works on that 110, so you need to have the inverter on. Mark asks, again, the heating fan, lighting, television, fridge, overhead fans, USB outlets, are native off the lithium batteries or AGM batteries. Those are 12-volt systems, and they will work. You do not have to have, you're correct in that, Mark, you do not have to have the inverter on. So that works out pretty darn good. Um, Somebody else asked, "Do you ever change your oil?" Nope, we answered that question earlier. Larry, heading to Yellowstone. Looking forward to it, among other places. Little Bighorn. And we'll have a video on the Little Bighorn this Thursday.
Hmm.
That's
It
a
will be
powerful
out
place. We visited. How many times have we visited
a
that?
couple times.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's really nice. We've got lots of you saying hi from all over the country. What causes the AC to flip the breakers? I had everything off and it still does it. I had it checked and it was great. Ended up putting a brand new one in. A new what? Uh, am I getting too much power? I don't know what a new thing you put in was. I don't know. New inverter? Maybe? I don't know. Usually it'll flip when there's too much of a power drain on it. It'll kick it off. It'll flop, or you don't have inadequate fuses. I don't know if you have a brand new unit or do you have an old unit. If you have an old unit, somebody might have done some modifications on it. So, but normally when your breakers go, it's too much of a power drain, and that's what causes that to happen. How often do you have to change water for showers in the toilet? How do you do it? How do you what? How
Change
do you do
water
what?
for. I think the water tank. How long is the water good? Oh, or
Well,
maybe how often do you have to empty?
well,
Okay, change or empty.
here's one of the things new people always get, and every RV has a little gauge that shows you how full the tanks are, right? The black tanks, which is the yucky stuff, and the gray tanks, which is the dishwater and what you use for your toothpaste and
And some
stuff like
people
that.
only have one tank.
Some only have one, yeah, but generally most have two.
Two.
At least the ones we've had. So the first thing you got to know is those gauges are never accurate. They just don't work. They don't work. What happens is they get crud stuck on them and they just give false readings. So you may empty your tank, and then you go turn on that gauge and it shows that it's only, half. It's only half empty. So you soon learn how long you can go with it. If you're showering a lot in a van, you need to take what they call Navy showers. What's a Navy shower? Explain.
You get a little wet, soap up, and then rinse off. Don't leave your water running. Use as little water as possible.
A great tip is replace the shower head on your van with one that has an on-off switch, so you don't have to turn it on and then turn it off, because you just want to get wet, lather up, turn it off, lather up, and then turn it on, lather off. If you're going to take long, luxurious showers, forget about it. You don't have enough to do one long one in an RV. So you learn real quick to take quick, easy showers. Sponge baths, almost. And your black tank, well, you'll know when that's full, trust me. If you really want to know, just go in there and hold down the little thing that flushes it, shine a flashlight down there. If you can see stuff floating around, that means it's getting pretty darn full, and it's time to empty.
And the gray tank, the gray water in the shower area, the water will come up.
Yeah, if you don't
If the
empty your
tank's
gray
too
tank,
full.
yeah, it'll come up in the shower drain. But in general, we don't have to empty the toilet every 4 or 5 days if we're using it a lot, and if we're showering in it, we have to empty the gray stuff every second or third day. I do, just to be sure. But everybody is different. Everybody is different. Richard wants to know, do you help out with the driving?
I do. I enjoy driving.
That's all you got to say?
That's all I got to say. I enjoy it. At first, I was reluctant to, and then I learned how to drive out in Nebraska. And just get someplace where you're comfortable to try and get used to it. And I had people tell me, don't hold the steering wheel too tight, because we had a problem with wind, and the wind terrified me. And you get behind trucks, and the thing would start to shake.
Oh, yeah, porpoises.
Yeah, so, slow down. Don't hold the wheel with a death grip.
Yeah.
All those little things.
You're a good driver now with it, and it's so nice because we can.
I had a tire go flat when I was driving.
And you didn't panic, have any trouble at all.
Did I have a choice? You can't panic.
No.
I had a semi-truck coming at me, passing
Oh,
another
and
semi-truck.
we got that on a dash cam.
We got that on the dash cam. Listening to the song "Staying Alive."
I don't know if you've seen this video. It's up on our YouTube channel. Where was that? It was a 2-lane road in Georgia.
Georgia.
And Jennifer was driving, and that's one of the reasons we keep a dash cam. So plus, I use them all, the dash cam video in our videos. But you see these two semis, they were having like road rage, and one was passing, and it was coming right at us. And
You didn't say a word.
I didn't say a word because wouldn't have done any good because that was coming right at. And you slowed, you didn't panic, and you just kind of pulled off, and he went, whoom. And when I went back and played that dash cam video, it was, staying alive. It was pretty funny. But Jennifer drives. We typically will try and drive no more than 150 miles, and then we'll switch drivers. We'll get out and run around. Sometimes, we may do that twice, and then if we're going cross country and we really got to make, then we'll
And
do
if
maybe
there's
100.
an accident and we're stopped, we just switch drivers because that drives you crazy.
Yep.
And I don't mind sitting forever, and
All
that
right,
always sends
question
you over the edge.
from Pamela. She says, do you know anything about buying an RV at Camping World? I've seen a bunch of negative videos. Yes, there have been a lot of negative videos. One of the RV dealers has kind of done a tell-all video about some of the sales tactics of Camping World, and it's going almost viral around the internet. You can just search that out and find it yourself. But there's a lot of criticism about sales tactics, financing, the way Camping World upsells things. You can learn that all yourself. Do your due diligence. And then just this week, 11 business owners came out with a major story in Forbes magazine criticizing the business tactics of Camping World's CEO, Marcus Lemonis. Many people...
I got to let Bo go in.
She's going to let Bo in the house.
He's too
Bo's
hot.
out here. Hey, Bo, you want to say hi to everybody? Where's Bo? Yeah, he's not out there. Jennifer will be back. But anyway, it was a pretty negative story about his sales tactics and his business ethics, and that's in Forbes magazine. So Camping World, on the other hand, is showing great gains in the stock market. It's making a lot of money, but there is a lot of negative stuff that you can research yourself and find it. I've never bought an RV from there. We've gone to many Camping Worlds, and I've bought appliances and camping equipment. They're huge. They're the 1,000-pound gorilla in the business. So you can check all of those things out. But yeah, there's a lot.
I just let Bo go in, and now he's looking at me like, "You're not coming in?
Yeah,
I got to be in here by myself."
How humid is it out there? It's pretty humid.
I don't know, but it's very hot. If
Yeah.
it were for our grandson, Bo and I'd be heading north,
Yeah.
stay in here to watch that boy play football.
See, now I go out there for about an hour and a half, and I sit and right on the water and look at. But I wish I had put the picture up to show you tonight how yucky that water is. It's the Emerald Coast is not crystal clear these days. It's just this really dark,
I guess it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been like it a couple weeks. They said it was great, a couple weeks ago, but not right now. See, Todd says, do you carry a spare tire? Yep, we do. I have
And
not.
we needed it.
And we did need it. We needed it at that time
when
you had a flat.
Yeah, I had the flat.
Yeah.
And that was something. This person was passing and tooting and pointing, and I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He did that twice, and then he gave up on me, and then I realized, I got trouble.
Yeah, and you took care of it. You drove very well. David, do you bring bikes with you? Do you? How come it's not coming up here? Trying to bring this question up from David.
It's right up there. Do you bring bikes?
Do you bring bikes with you, and if so, how do you carry them? We have e-bikes, David. Now, we didn't bring them with us down here to Florida because
we have to take home.
We're actually taking home one of those storage boxes that I had. I did a story about a year ago. Many of you, last fall, I guess, it was a big box, and it had a couple of bike racks on the top, and I was testing it out. And I took it off, and I've left it in storage down here in Florida, and I'm going to actually hook it up and bring it back and return it to the folks that we borrowed it from in Canada because we tested it out for a while. So that's why we didn't bring our e-bikes. We love to bring our e-bikes with us because they're just so much fun to drive. We have a rack on the back of that, and I'm looking, there's an extension. We have a story on the blog this week about an extension that you can put any bike rack in, and it will swing away. So you can open, if you have a camper van, it'll open the doors on the rear of it. It's pretty easy. All right. Wow, you guys are asking a lot of questions. Let's see. What percentage of time do you use the 4x4 option, and is it worth it?
In Michigan, we don't use it.
And in the snow, we camp in the snow. We drive in the snow. I've
We've
never
not needed
needed
it.
it ever. The benefit, the biggest benefit in my book, is it gives you about that much extra clearance above the ground. The downside of that,
Is it's a very rough ride. It's very bouncy inside
yeah, that's another reason Bo seems to be freaking out about the road trek
because the roads are so terrible
the
in a
road,
lot of
yeah.
places. The roads are just awful, particularly in Michigan.
But the other thing about that extra height, that means that the step now out is,
And that bothers me.
bothered
We
your
have to
hip.
carry around a great big heavy step. I guess we could have gotten a lightweight plastic, but we've got this big old step that we're carrying
I
around.
bought it at Camping World.
Doesn't bother you, but the
But
extra
it's a
height
larger step down and up.
bothers me.
Yep. So, but you do not. First of all, they're very hard to get. So I would not order it again. I don't need it. I like that extra clearance. I thought that it would be very handy in going down some of the boondocking roads we do in national forests. But quite frankly, I don't think there's been anything since we've had this, that any road that we could not have gone in our other vehicles as well.
More city driving, a lot of towns where the driveways are too steep, and you don't want to scrape.
Yep. Question, Aurora, how much food do you stock in your rig when you are traveling?
Depends on how long you're going to be gone. You have to plan your menu to take the right pots and pans, everything that you need. So you have to get a lot of thought. And I try to make things at home so that I'm not doing a lot of cooking in the rig. And Mary Jane Curry, she's the superstar for cooking in a Class B motorhome.
Speaking of Mary Jane Curry, she writes the RV recipes. There's one, just had one yesterday. Every week there's a brand new one. It's on the roadtrekking.com blog. Her cookbook, a hard copy cookbook, should be out very soon. And we'll have a story on the blog when that cookbook is out. But it's jam-packed with great recipes for RVers. Okay. I think somebody's being facetious here.
What?
Morella wants to know what's our favorite color. Okay, I would
At
said ask
this
us
moment,
anything.
blue.
Blue?
Yeah, at
That's
this
probably
moment.
mine. Blue. Can you tell by my cool hat? Hey, have you
That's
seen?
a cool blue.
That is a very cool hat.
I
Very
like
cool,
that
very cool
shade of blue.
And that's available.
That's probably what's your favorite color? We're both wearing blue.
Actually, this
coincidence.
is purple. This is my Okaloosa Island
Last
shirt.
week
That's
we
purple.
were clashing. I was flowered and you were plaid. It was kinda-
Yeah. All right. See, we ask questions. Okay. I don't know why, but many of the RVers I follow all have their live chats at the same time. I don't know. We do every week at this time. I don't know who else is on, but hopefully you're here, so thank you. I am glad that you're here. Hi from Jim Blair, our pal from New Mexico. Hey, Jim. How are you? Good to hear you. Say hi to your wife, Cindy. Jim is one of those guys that we meet around the country several times a year. He's a regular at, he and his wife Cindy, at many of our road trekking gatherings, and that's really fun. Do the Highlanders come with the trailer hitch? I'm not familiar with the Highlander. I don't know. If it doesn't, you can put one on. Oh, are you talking about the Highlander vehicle, the tow vehicle? Who makes the Highlander? Not Toyota. I don't know. I'm sure you can put one
I'm
on.
sure it's
if you don't
got
have
a hitch.
one. So I don't know. You can put one on there. Let's see. We've had a new E-Trek on order for a while now and keep getting informed of delays. Original delivery date was June. Now they're saying October or even later. How long did it take to get yours? We got ours off a lot. So we did not order it from the factory. The other units we've had have all been kind of prototypes that we've helped test out. The one we have now came off of a lot, so there was no wait back there. See behind us coming through on the other side of my head over here? Over here?
What?
That's Beach Patrol right there. There they go. So everybody say hi to the Beach Patrol. But they're going to start making sprinters in the U.S. soon, but I'm hearing all over from all of the different manufacturers that it's very hard to get enough chassis. The Class B boom in camper vans is, well, we had a story on the podcast this week, was up 36%. So, it's going to be up. But if you're ordering any kind of an RV, in these boom times, you're going to have to wait. And I know some people who've been waiting a year, almost a year now, and are still waiting for a new one. So this is where you got to be a sharp shopper and check inventory of dealers around the country. You might have to compromise and have something installed at the dealership rather than than having it built at the
That's the
factory.
bad part about ordering exactly what you want. You
Yeah.
have to wait.
It's really tough. So
Maybe you
Roger,
could go to
good
a
luck
show
on that.
and find something that you like.
I hope you get. All right, here's that question. Episode. Thank you, Maureen, for looking that up. 171. So if you go to roadtrucking.com/171, that is where you'll learn the whole latest thing about using biofuel in diesel engines on the Sprinter chassis. Straight from the horse's mouth, from Mercedes themselves. You can go there. It answers all of those questions, and you'll find it. So there you go. That's Chris also says, "Hey, Chris, I'm glad you're watching." Chris is there. Chris is our hero. He is the graphics guy who does all of the graphics, the thumbnails for our YouTube channel, and he did.
Is it okay with Chris if you use the last name too?
Chris Cowley? Well, that's right there. That's his
it's
name.
up there. I'm looking at Bo. Bo is looking out right now, why
Yeah.
did we kick him off the team?
Anyway, Chris, thank you so much. Glad that you're watching. But episode 171 is the episode about, so you can learn about that. Hello from Blowing Rock, North Carolina. Even though we have a Class A, I truly enjoy your videos. Well, hey, that's music to my ears. Your tips and information are very much appreciated. We have worked really hard at that. Where are you going? He's going to get Bo. He's going to get. Bo is staring out to the window here. That's exactly what we want to hear. Is that it's for all RVs, not just Class Bs. That's one of the reasons we're using the name RV Lifestyle, because we don't want to get locked into just one brand, because RVing is so much more. So we love all of our gatherings are open to everybody, no matter what kind of an RV you have. It's about the lifestyle and whatever works best with you. Class A, Class B, Class C, pop-up, trailer. It's about being out there and enjoying it, and that's great. Hi from Nebraska, says Mac, and look at that, logging in from the Bighorns up at 9,000 feet. It's still hot down there in the flatlands. That's our pal Camp Skunk, who's out there.
Hot and humid.
Oh, Camp Skunk. I see why you left Florida. Camp Skunk spends part of the holidays, the end of the year holidays in Florida. And then he's on the road, and he's up in the Bighorn Mountains of Montana, 9,000 feet. He had a blog post the other day about snow and hail.
Don't let Bo hear this.
Yeah, Bo was, but it's, we've been down here 1 week. And Jen really wants to go. Somebody wants to see Bo.
He's right behind you.
Okay, well, let's see if I can.
He's
bring
laying down, looking out at the water.
let's
It is much too hot down here for
let's see if
the
I can
poor
get.
dog.
Oh wait, I have a new way to do this. Talk to him.
Oh.
Tell him about Bo. This is really cool. I wanted to show you.
Do I
this.
say that we have to get him to settle down because we take him to the off-leash dog park, and yesterday he played too hard, and I think he overheated. So how do you get the dog to get some exercise and not play too hard?
Okay, this
run
is
around
pretty
too
cool.
Much.
This is a new tool
Bo
that I
is-
have. Where's Bo? Oh, there he
Okay,
goes. Hey,
here
Bo.
he is. Bo, come here,
Come here,
baby.
Bo. Okay, let me put him all up here. Bo, over here. There he is. There's Bo. Can you see Bo? How come he's crooked there? Let's get him right. There is Bo. He's here on the porch with us.
I don't know why
And,
it's. Should you turn it on its
There we
side?
go. I'll get him up there yet.
There you go.
And then we gotta
Side
put him
instead of
back
vertical.
in. This is a new thing that allows me to actually put my cell phone video on, and that's Bo. He's looking out over the
He
the
probably
place
would
here.
like to bark at somebody.
He would love to bark at somebody, and that's Bo.
Bo.
And then
Bo.
over here is us. There you are. And there's Bo now coming around.
Yeah. Hi, Bo.
So Bo
Hi,
is here.
sweetie.
There he is. Say hi to
Good
everybody, Bo.
boy.
They all
yeah.
want to say hi to you.
Well, you know what he's telling us.
I know. You all know what he's telling us.
He's
it's time.
telling
Hey,
us
Bo,
it's time.
you want to go to the dog park?
Don't tease him. Don't be
I
teasing
won't.
him.
So that's Bo, and I can jump back off that. But this is
Okay.
a really cool thing. This lets
So-
me
so
actually
what is
turn
the
this into a
temperature?
second camera.
What
Huh?
is the temperature here?
Temperature right now?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the humidity has got to be
Oh, I don't know.
110.
What is the temperature? I don't know. 84 degrees.
which doesn't sound that bad, but the humidity.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's good. Camp Skunk's in Wyoming, not Montana. Excuse me. The big sky country of Montana, but you're at the tall sky country of Wyoming, and that's pretty great. Do you read all the comments and questions even if you don't read during the show? We do, Sharon. You can't answer every question. Just like, I've talked about this before. I can't answer every email I get because I would never have time to travel or to edit or to write. But we do read all the comments, and we try to come back and we'll comment and answer on some of them. And that's pretty good. Camp Skunk's noting that Bo is a poor and neglected dog. So.
He's poor and neglected because he's here where it's hot.
And my favorite comment of the day, by the way, came from Stacy, who says, "Who let the dogs out?" Did you tell that story about that song?
We told him that story.
I guess we did tell you that a couple
we
weeks
took
ago.
him
Very
out.
good.
We took him out to a park near our
Stacy,
home.
you are sharp. That is a good one.
And we took him a bit later than we normally do, and it was dark. And number one thing is there was music playing, which he was interested in that. What's that? And then they played that song, "Who Let the Dogs Out?" And he knows the word dog.
He does.
And then there was some barking in the song, and he was just, ears were cocking all over the place trying to understand what was going on. And then little kids dancing, jumping straight up and down. He also thought that was a unique experience.
Yep, it was. Stacy tells us, by the way, it's 77 in Michigan. And
Is it humid?
It's probably not humid, no. Matthew asked us, you guys ever been to Maine?
Yes.
Ever been to Maine?
And we loved it.
Yeah.
I want to go back there.
We